What is happening, guys? Cowboy here, and welcome to the first build video of many for Dark Souls 3, and this is the Yhorm Berserker. So, this is a pure strength build, and it's actually what the build from the walkthrough ended up turning into. If you guys watched the walkthrough, you know that we used the Fume Ultra Greatsword for basically the entirety of it, and then obviously that got nerfed quite a bit, so in my search for new weapons, I ended up going for the Yhorm Machete, fell in love with it, and it is, it really is amazing. But either way, let's jump into it. So this build was made with a warrior. That's going to give you the best stat allocation here. And looking at our stats, you can see we have both Vigor and Endurance soft-capped at 50 and 40 respectively, Attunement at base of 6, Vitality at 25, Strength at 50, which will give us some really hard-hitting swings, Dexterity up to 10 to meet the weapon requirement for the Yhorm's Machete, and then Intelligence, Faith, and Luck all at their base levels. Looking at our specific gear, you can see our weight ratio is at 65.2, so we could even pull some points out of Vitality, but I wanted it a little higher in the event that I wanted to switch up to a medium shield or a spell parry shield or Shield of Want to help, farm souls up or whatever the case may be. But either way, going through our loadout, we have Yhorm's Great Machete plus 5, a small leather shield for parries. As for our gear, Fallen Knight Helm, Black Hand Armor, Fallen Knight Gauntlets, and then Black Iron Leggings. Our rings for this build are Ring of Favor, Havel's Ring, Chloranthy Ring, and then Hornet Ring. Now, of course, if you want to go through New Game Plus 1 or New Game Plus 2, feel free to pick up the upgraded versions of these three, and then you could even, drop some points out of Vitality and make your guy even beefier in the Strength category. So looking over the fashion, I guess the inspiration behind this build, I really liked how the Fallen Knight set looked, but with everybody using it, I wanted to mix it up a bit, and grabbing the Black Hand Armor and the Black Iron Leggings, I thought that those meshed really well with it and kind of brought the look together even better than the initial set was. So as with all my builds, this build is intended for PvE and PvP. So we're going to make our way on over to the Abyss Watchers. We're going to slaughter these Dark Wraiths on the way and show you what this is capable of. One of the greatest things about the Yhorm's Great Machete, as you can see, we have amazing hyper armor. Managed to take a good couple pops there, but even then, we were able to just keep on swinging and just absolutely slaughter those Dark Wraiths. And in my opinion, it makes it a very strong build, especially for people that are new to the game, just because of how much raw damage you can put out. I mean, we are just destroying everything that even looks at us. And if you think that's bad, wait till you see what happens to a boss. So this is New Game Plus. Let's see what an Abyss Watcher can do. Can't parry that one. With all the time I've put in, I'm still terrible at parries. And that's phase 1. One of the best advantages of this build is just because of how hard you hit. Pretty much any scenario where you're going to be trading hits, you're going to come out on top. As you're able to see here, even though the Watcher has hit us quite a few times, every time that he's hit and we've hit, he's lost massive chunks of health, and there he is dead. So, some alternatives to this. I did play around with quite a few weapons while I was creating this build, and there were a couple that I ended up narrowing it down to. The main reason that I ended up going with Yhorm's Great Machete is I really like the weapon art on this. So for those that don't know how weapon arts work, when you're two-handing a weapon, if you hit L2, or the left trigger, With the Yhorm's machete, it increases the attack damage, and then on top of that gives you a unique move set. So as you can see, we have 623 attack power right now, and when we buff it, we are up to 684. So just for some comparisons on other high-end weapons, as you can see, the greatsword, and this is heavy, I could probably get some better damage out of this if I made it quality, but that's at 516, and the Dragon Slayer Great Axe plus 5 actually shows 694, which is higher, but at the same time, it is split between physical and lightning, and that was one of the main reasons that I was really, I liked Yhorm so much, is because it has that A scaling and strength, and then on top of that, you know, with it being pure damage, you don't have to worry about resistance being mitigated. But some alternatives if you don't like the machete: Dragon Slayer Great Axe, a great weapon choice for strength builds. Of course, the Fume Ultra Greatsword. The Heavy Greatsword, also another really good choice. So either way, that is the basis from the build. Now that you guys have got to see how absolutely devastating it can be to a boss, let's go check it out in some PvP.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.